first part we're going to assemble will be this. We put it in the right orientation, so we're going to assemble this. So I improved on this from the previous carbine, so I made this two parts. So if you print it like this, in this orientation, in your 3D printer, then always, if you don't print this in a heated chamber, you'll have a hairline crack, or the weakest point will always be in that plane where we've separated. So we've separated this part just to ease part manufacture, and if one of these parts crap out, then it's easier to just print one section of the part than the entire thing. So to assemble this, you need your, I couldn't get a M3x50 metric cap screw, so I'm using this cheesehead brass screw. This will be hidden, so nobody will be able to see this. If all the bolts could have been brass, that would have been an interesting effect, black and gold bolts, but nobody's going to see this, so this will be hidden. You're going to need two M16 M3x16 long cap screws and 3 M3 nuts. So we've made a little pocket right here to drop in our M3 hex screw. Let me pop in my pan head. Hence why I said nobody will be able to see this. Adjust my camera slightly. So I revised this carbine basically to strengthen up all of the weak parts, making it easier for printing as well, whether it be PLA, it's quite a long. It's already tightened through the center, so time for me to orientate this. Ooh, forgot my Allen keys. Okay, got my trusty old Allen key. Let's pop in the first M3x16 cap screw. Better if you have an Allen key with a ball. This is the first time that I'm assembling this part that I normally print as 1 and 2. I'm just closing the gap. Just be careful to not over tighten. Let me pop in that hex nut in there as well. Check the other side. That's stable. That's good money. While we're on this note, let's see quickly. So what I'll need for this section, need our HDR 50. Let's slide this boy in there. So this is going to be its final resting place, just like this, and slightly forward. For this part, if you don't want to fiddle too much with it, the best way to print this will be up like this, so you don't interfere with the fit of the HR50. So I printed mine like this, and I had to do some extra filing, especially around the angles of where this inner contours kind of matches with the Picatinny rail on the HR50. So please just note that you might have to do some extra work if you've printed this shroud adapter, HDR50 shroud adapter in this orientation. Best is if you print it like this, then there's minimal work, because this is supposed to be a friction fit. Mine will be tighter, hence I just gave you that tip. So it should be a push fit until all the way home. I have to use some extra muscle. Okay, that's home now. So I've already assembled 2 bolts off camera. I just had to familiarize myself with some tips. I haven't assembled this in a while. So so this bolt head here, I had to kind of either depending on the orientation you print this, your bolt head will fit, or you have to ream this section out to get your bolt head, or slightly file down your bolt head to fit through this recess here. And another tip is, I don't know if you can see on camera, but here's some hexagon cutouts for the hex nuts. It's quite a tight fit, so prior to assembling this, the shroud adapter and HDR adapter to this part here, you would like to press those nuts in. If you haven't done this, like me, a fool, so what you can do is, if you have opened up all of these holes, or you have no issues with threading through a bolt, you can align. So what I ended up doing was, I screwed in my cap screw, so at this point it's going to be poking out the other end. So what you can do now is slip on your hex nut and then screw it in until the cap screw pulls it towards the cutout, and before it enters the cutout, you just align it by using a flat screwdriver and then pull it in and then nip it down. So when I say nip, and hand tight it down until it's fully seated within the recess, and then you can back out your long cap screw, which is not that long, it's about M3 by 20, 16 long you can use, but I would advise the longer the better, so use a 20. And then when we're done, we just back out the screw again, just back this guy out. Now we're going to replace this guy with a normal cap screw. With normal cap screw, I meant the correct length, so you want to pop in 3 by 12 cap screw. I've got a few Allen keys around. And that's hand tight. We always use the long handle, and we leverage with our thumb, index finger and wrist. So we don't have to use the long handle side, and I think that should be it. So now that we got the bottom part resolved, let's pull in that nut. So as I said, so this would be a better way, I can call it that. Slip in your nut. This is the little bit awkwardness about this assembly. And then we have the, I think M3 by 20 cap screw. See that? That's it. So I think at this point, why don't we assemble our shroud? So please note, when you assembling this, if you look from the back end, you'll see that on the top it's got like a higher peak. So if you look at this part, this part, this part, it's quite closer to the shroud's body. Obviously it's meant all of these rails for your accessories, but if you look at the top side, you'll note that this one is usually it's longer than the other three sides. So the side will show to the top, and let me quickly locate this guy. Right, next thing is to secure our shroud to our remainder of a HDR carbine. So for the time being, I've already located one bolt, otherwise it will be excruciating difficult to get all of this on camera. So let me just continue by threading in my bolts. If all of your shroud bolts are in, this will be the final result, and we're almost there. So the next thing that we would want to do is insert a dummy mag, which will be this guy. Please ensure before fitting the dummy mag that you've pressed in all of these nuts. What I like to do is one or two things. With a persuasion of a long nose pliers, or I'll just simply stick in a longer bolt and then pull them within their respective seats. But once you are 100% sure that all of your nuts are correctly seated, so let's continue to the assembly. Let's insert our dummy mag. And what we'll always also note, let's put it in. Got my nuts. These nuts look a little bit dual coated, but these were some of the nuts that came in plated. Let's just use my, there we go, got a gentle persuasion. So these nuts are actually plated nuts that I tried to dip in acid and get them to strip, and then use the old school gluing method, but unfortunately it didn't work out that well. The carbon didn't attach, and yeah, something went wrong in my process, but it's kind of difficult to blacken plated bolts. So now let me lay them on its side. So this is the stage where we're at, so we're almost done. So let's attach our riser, and this part also solidifies the entire assembly by actually adding rigidity to all of the parts involved. So also please note, it can only fit, I think it only fits in this way with the first hole here. Here's a split between the shroud and the adapter, and there's a second hole, third hole, fourth hole. It can only fit like this. So let's get started. So here's my other side of the adapter. Please note I've already added my hexagon nuts. It might fall out, but these ones are not that of a tight fit, so they are slightly loose. It's probably an H7 or H6 fit, but for now let me try and orientate my camera like this. You see, there they started rattling. Here's my, I think these are like M4 by, alright, there's my Allen keys. Let me quickly get one bolt in and see if there's a hexagon. No hexagon on the other side, so no hexagon on this side, so let me just fit that one in and slightly maybe work from underneath so I can get in. I can show all of you. Okay, got my hex bolt in, so let me start putting in the remainder, all of these hex bolts. So once you have all of your bolts in, what I like to do is give it with the long handle side, and I'll try and close the gap a little bit at a time, and I'll try and give every cap screw equal attention, and that's it. It doesn't have to be gorilla tight, but this is the end result. Time for us to put our foregrip on. So this is what you should be left with. So we got a foregrip on, our kit is completed. I just have to put in 2 bolts of my own, and then at this stage I cannot adjust the position of my foregrip yet. I first need my butt stuck on, my tank, and then I can adjust this and put the bolts in and then tighten that down. But the holographic scope and the barrel and the tank I'll do in my next part, because having a tight bore barrel and having a tank that can produce pressure, that will be the most important factors in having a weapon that performs well, just as the same as it looks. So this is all that I have for today. Thanks for watching with me. I'll see you in the next one.